Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. The Mets came back. The Yanks came back. The Dodgers came back. The guard dogs pooped on them. Let's talk ball.
Goes for it.
Stephen Kwan.
Okay.
Got his hands in. Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. The division series. Is this day one? It feels like it was 3 days today. Dude. My God. It's brought to you by SeatGeek, Jake Storielli, Trevor Plouffe, BBD, going through a huge day in baseball. The Mets seem unstoppable if it's the eighth inning or later. The Yanks and Royals played a messy one. Dodgers. Do they need starting pitching because they have everything else? And the guard dogs announced themselves today. It's all brought to you by SeatGeek, the official ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball. Every ticket gets a rating 0 through 10. Green means good. Red means bad. And with code JOHNBOYPlayoffs10, you get 10% off your tickets at SeatGeek. And you can use that code now. You could save it for later if you've used the code. If you haven't, it's good to go. JOHNBOYPlayoffs10, 10% off tickets at SeatGeek. Click the link in the description. Go see a ball game, baby. Trevor, what's you got the craziest look in your eye. What's up?
All right. I mean, this has nothing to do with the playoffs, so I'm hesitant to talk about it.
Okay.
Beebs, I need you to get a picture up quickly for me. I go Baseball Reference. I have that up. When we start our show, I see who's on there. I click on this one picture. Nellie Fox, Nellie
Sure.
Fox.
Legend.
How much do you know about him?
Legend. Hall of Famer, right?
He is a Hall of
shortstop?
Famer. Have you looked at his numbers?
I haven't looked at no. Is this a Louis Aparicio situation? What are we doing?
30.
Trev.
I'm sorry. 15-time All-Star. He won an MVP in a year he hit 770 OPS, 35 homers.
You're turning
76 stolen bases total in his career.
You're turning into Tim Kirkjian.
First, I like the picture.
No one Nelly
First,
Fox
I like the
didn't
picture.
do.
It was when men were men. Look at the picture.
Oh my
That's what got me.
God, that's a playing pick?
That's how he got MVP.
That's how I got into this. He was born on Christmas. Love that.
Like
Nelly Fox is it.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Trev, we've got Shohei Ohtani's. We've got Soto. Come on. Don't hit me with Nelly Fox right now. Yeah.
MVP.
Should have seen him with the glove.
He better have been an incredible.
Better have played two positions out there.
Let's talk ball.
Yeah, let's get into it.
I think we're gonna get a little unhinged tonight.
Yeah, we've got to get you to something going on tonight. And yeah, it was a crazy one of the most packed days of baseball of the year. 1 p.m. to midnight again on the East Coast. The final, how many teams are left? 8? The Elite 8 of baseball. And a little surprise for the people. We're going to crown pod this bitch, but in reverse order. We got Padres, Dodgers fresh on the mind, and we'll work our way back to relive what feels like 3 days of baseball. So I think it's just time. Yamamoto versus Cease.
Yes.
The series that started the season in Korea fires it up in Hollywood. Yoshinobu Yamamoto twirling it for the Dodgers, while Dylan would try to cease LA's season. Top one, look at the Pelicans, Manny. Machado 2-run homer in a 3-run inning, and Shohei says, let's call it zeros. Welcome to the fucking show. Ohtani 3-run bomb. It's LA and the stars are out, baby. Tie game. But Xander, he bogarts a 2-run double of his own. 5-3 fathers in the fourth. Tommy, small ball, Edman, and Teoscar gets grouchy. 6-5 LA. Make it 7 on the double play ground out in the fifth. And here we go. It's over. 4 clean innings from each of the bullpen. Yamamoto, Brazier, Vesia, Phillips, Kopech, Trinan. Most pitches he's thrown in a while. Dodgers take game 1, 7-5 final.
I don't think you got me on that one yet.
No,
Maybe it's a little over my head still.
I've got a decent one in the Yankees game. There's nothing too crazy in there, and this was the last game of the night, so I'm just.
I like Welcome to the You Know What show. I don't cuss, but
show
I like
that.
Like,
get it?
Yeah, I like that one.
I got one in the Yankees one you like. There's a couple, but
okay.
How and that one just gets you every time in the Mets game. But Trev, Dodgers Padres. I mean, we talked about it. There's talent all over the field. The Dodgers' concern is their starting pitching, and it came to light, and then it got buried because they're so good at everything else.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's fair to start there with the Dodgers, but it is true. I mean, this is a team where when you're looking at what an advantage San Diego will have above the Dodgers, it's the starting pitching that they have. And, Yamamoto comes out, obviously hasn't thrown the pill a lot this year. 3 innings, 5 earned runs. I think if you told Padres fans that was going to happen, they'd be like, we're going to win this game. Dylan Cease is on the mound. But like you mentioned, the thing that the Dodgers have is, Shohei Ohtani, did you see the numbers they kept flashing with runners in scoring position over the last, whatever it is, 2 weeks? It's like 14 for his last 16 or something like that. So I couldn't believe the numbers. It was a 2 dot. Even John Smoltz, who he doesn't even like hitters.
Hitters. Good answer.
He was impressed. So this was definitely a fun game to watch. I feel like there was a ton of what ifs, what could have been at bats. Guys could have stepped up. Shohei, obviously, that was the at bat of the game. Coming back, tying it back up in the bottom of the second after going down 3-0. That ball was at his neck, dude. 97 miles an hour at his neck. He hit it 112 off the bat with a 25-degree launch angle. That I don't know how to describe that. You should not be able to do that. And I was trying to tell Teddy, I said, look at this guy. He's so still in the box right now. He's seeing the ball so deep. That was awesome. But you have to give credit to San Diego for, obviously Manny in the first inning, hanging split from Yamamoto. That was beautiful, and I think he just loves to do that because he gets booed in Los Angeles. He's the villain there. Yeah, that ball is. And yeah, we don't see that too often from Shohei either. That little bat toss right there.
Yeah, I do want to do the Shohei doesn't show emotion. We've seen Shohei show plenty of emotion at this point.
Yes.
It's a little
different.
Yeah, there's the Asian.
I didn't see that side. I must have been cheering.
There's the Asian stoic stereotype that, and Shohei normally has that a lot, but he also, if there's a moment, he's gonna let it eat, and we've seen that a ton now. But yeah, that bat flip. I don't know, and it neutralizes the game. You get punched in the mouth in the first inning, 3 runs on the board, and then Shohei just the eraser.
I would call it a Japanese stoic because I got my Filipino brothers in LA. Those guys are wilding.
Shout out. Okay,
shout out. Yeah, it was just so good. And then you get right after San Diego answers with Xander. Right. That's a hanger down the line. And you're like, this San Diego team is built to compete, with anybody. And it's built to compete with the Dodgers. Obviously, they won the season series this year. I think it was interesting to see kind of Freddie move around a little bit, obviously nursing some stuff. The ankle's not great.
Yeah.
But he ends up having a stolen base, goes 2 for 4. He's a freaking gangster, dude.
Dog.
And I think the difference, so I have so many notes just about what happened in the game, but then I have my other notes that I want to talk about. Difference in the game for me. Well, one team has Shohei.
Right.
But we're talking about that. The Dodgers bottom of the order.
Yes.
5 for 16.
Yes.
Turn the lineup over. Shohei hits first.
Couple big walks.
Shohei hits first. So you get anybody on base there. Now they can't walk him. And there's a chance for a crooked number when anyone's on base with Shohei up there. They were 5 for 16. The Padres. 7, 8, 9 hitters. There was a pinch hit at the end, 1 for 10. It's a difference, man. That's a difference in the game. You lose the game 7-5. That's the difference. I also was very curious to see what they were going to do with Shohei. We talked about Tanner Scott being a neutralizer for him. He gets him in that last inning, 1 for 10 lifetime now against Tanner Scott. I think that's going to be massive as the series goes onward. Also, Morahan gets him to break his bat, but he gets a base hit. But he broke his bat. I think that's a victory for the lefties against Shohei. So I think San Diego fans should feel good about, hey, if we get in a big moment and we have Tanner Scott available, like, dude, that's a matchup that he's won 9 out of 10 times, dude. That's good for San Diego. And then, yeah, I mean, I don't know. What else you want to talk about?
Yeah, it's a day of, and it'll probably be a theme of this episode, it's a day of, if you didn't win, where are your wins? And if you did win, what were the losses? And yeah, I guess that for San Diego fans, like Tanner Scott on Shohei, that was pretty dominant. And the numbers are dominant. That if Shohei did get him in that spot, then like it feels like a different series. Like, okay, so we can't bank on that. And you still can't bank on anything against that cap. But yeah, I mean, the Dodgers, in a way, you did a lot, and Kopech comes in and he looks shaky, and you're a swing away in the 8th and the 9th. They're like,
the whole time they were a swing away. They looked great. I think that Padres fans, as you know, you want to win game 1. The numbers show 70 whatever percent of the time, team that wins game 1 will go on to win the series. I don't feel that way in this series whatsoever. I do not feel like the series is over. I don't feel like the series is lopsided. Here's a play that I want to talk about.
okay,
So Machado makes the throwing error.
yep,
This is in the bottom of the 5th. Makes the throwing error. Lux, by the way, like we mentioned, the bottom of the order, he looks great at the plate right now. I'm very happy for him. He's really turned the season around. Base knock, Oppo. So it's 1st and 3rd. Yes, 1st and 3rd. Nobody out. And Edman hits the ball to Bogaerts. He looks at home, and on the broadcast, they said Will Smith got this great jump, and that's why Bogaerts turned 2. But he didn't, and he was dead at home. So I'm like very curious. Like typically in a 162, bro, yes, you trade the run for 2 outs.
right.
In this situation, I think he should have come home. The only explanation could have been, hey, Miggy Rose up next, and then you have Shohei, and maybe you want to just clear the bases. But at the same time, you don't want to give up another run. That makes it 7-5 now.
Right.
Now it's a 2-run lead. Instead of holding it to a 1-run, I think Bogaerts made the wrong decision there. I really do. Even if you have to face Shohei, like bring somebody in to neutralize him. I don't know, whatever it has to be to end the inning. I think he made the wrong decision there. Gave him a run basically, and that ended up, hey, math pod, 2 runs, bigger lead than 1 run.
No lies detected, girl. Yeah, a 1-run game in the playoffs is kind of nothing. Like if you make 1 mistake, it's a tied game. Where 2-run lead, you're begging for a base runner, and Gavin Lux makes a diving play in the 9th inning that would have brought Fernando up to make it a 2-run. So like, yeah, okay, that's Dalton. Dalton took some notes for me because I was also recording Talkin Yanks during a period of this game, and he wanted me to ask you about that. So I'm glad you brought that up. I think I don't want to say closing notes is, we'll tee up tomorrow a little bit too, but Dodgers bullpen. The last couple episodes I've kind of been yelling because everyone's been saying Dodgers pitching. Starting pitching can be a little thin. Their bullpen tonight, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 0 earned runs. Treinen throws the most pitches he's thrown in a game in 5 years, and you forget how nasty his stuff is. And the wins from almost every team today is everyone got to see each other's bullpens. And that's going to be one of the running themes of like, hey, every hitter that gets a chance to see a bullpen guy more, they're usually 2 pitches. The advantage slowly starts to go to the hitters. And I guess the bigger thing for tomorrow's game, Treinen will be out. I mean, that's 39 bullets. He's not throwing tomorrow. For the Padres side, it's going to be very interesting. They pushed Jason Adam a little further. It's still 19 bullets. but for how effective he's been, it's something that can be a tomorrow story that currently isn't, and we're not sure, but you kind of got to tee that up.
Yeah, he's another. I mean, he Cade Shohei in 3 pitches. It was nasty.
God.
So that's, if you're a Padres fan, again, if you're Mike Schilt, you say, hey, we got 2 guys that can get this guy out. So in a situation that you need it, you feel good about that. One where you wouldn't feel good about, and I think we can probably go on to tomorrow's probables or whatever. The Kopech at bats against Machado and Jack Samaro, I tweeted it out. If you're Dave Roberts, the swings that those guys were taking, and I know Manny ended up striking out. That was a nasty pitch, nasty pitch. So if Kopech could do that again, great. But I'm just saying, watching those guys take the at-bats against him, I would not love it if he was put into a situation to try to get those guys out with runners on. I think he's got to be very cautious. That another lane, a different lane, sure, he's got the stuff.
Right.
But they were looking very, very comfortable. I mean, Jack Samaro, what a fucking at bat, dude.
That kid.
So look, I don't know. Padres get 2 guys on in the 9th. Manny takes a horrible at bat. That was tough to see at the end there.
Tough to end the game on that.
I mean, Blake Treinen's filthy. Don't get me wrong, but Manny Machado's a Hall of Famer. Like, that was not a great swing. It looks bad at the end there.
Who's that? That's your friend Jimbo there. He's in the lab.
Oh,
it's that time of year, baby.
Jimmy Jam.
Trev
Me and Jim
had
a big talk today.
It's always nice.
Yeah, we're gonna fire you.
Yeah, the our now company Padres fan Ryan Cohen was getting very tortured by all the Blake Treinen outside sliders that he says he's now seen for 5 years now, and yeah, it's hard. The Kopech stuff was very interesting because Manny and Jackson Merrill gave him a couple. It was all the same high fastball, but I think Kopech kind of throws a weird invisive fastball because he's a tall guy from a weird slot.
They were right there.
They were a swing away, and that's the other thing the Padres pocket as a win today, and they take tomorrow as my guy Yu Darvish takes on your guy Jack Flaherty. 8 p.m. tomorrow on the East Coast. Fire me up.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Again, like you mentioned, like a lot of the good bullpens through today, so guys are going to be able to see them. And I think there's an off day after game 2, correct?
Yes.
Fire your bullets away then. Whoever is available tomorrow, get them in the game. They'll have a day of rest. I think, like I mentioned before, I don't take into consideration any of that 70% crap into this series. I don't. Maybe some other series, I will take it into consideration. But this one just has the feel of something that we're going to see a dramatic series. I really, really believe that the crowd was great in LA tonight. It's going to be great in San Diego when it gets back there. That was fun, man. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, and maybe sorry Dodgers fans or sorry whoever we're about to talk about, but even if the Dodgers take tomorrow, it's let that San Diego crowd and let the team play there before we decide anything. Man, Darvish versus Flaherty tomorrow. Over-under's 8.5, which we haven't seen that in a lot of playoff games. We've seen a lot of 6s. That should be a beautiful way to wind down the weekend. Another way that's beautiful to wind down the weekend, Trev, how about Corona Extra? I know you know, and I know. But Corona Extra, try to be a fan that never loses. If you got that Corona
I look
Extra,
like a Corona right now.
You kind of do. I mean, there's, I know San Diego fans aren't probably too stoked right now. Look at you. The hair's out. But, if you had a couple Corona Extras during the game and you're coming down with a couple Coronas and you're like, yeah, man, he was a swing away. Go get yourself some Corona Extras this postseason. The perfect beer for watching baseball and all the moments that come with it. Cheers to everyone who loves the game beyond the scoreboard. Corona, the fan who never loses. Get yours at ordercorona.com. 21 plus, relax responsibly. Corona Extra beer imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois. There's a link in the description. Trev, why don't we covered the Plouffe Bowl, LA. Why don't we bring it to the big city for a couple games?
Let's go, baby.
Playoff baseball is back in the Bronx. Garrett J. Cole trying to work out an ace performance while the Royals would try to go hard in the paint behind Michael Waka Flocka Flame. Tommy Pham slaps a sac fly for first blood, 1-0 Royals, but playoff Glaber bombs for everyone. 2-run shot for Torres gives the Yanks the lead, but one of the Melendez brothers murders a ball. 3-2 Royals in the fourth after the 2-run homer. Bottom 5, Yanks fans relax with a nice walk. Wells and Volpe both with RBI walks. It's 4-3. Buckle up, double play ball. Volpe plays catch with the right field ball boy. Garrett Hamster Dance takes the lead with a 2-run single. It's 5-4 Royals. But 6, Austin goes to the Wells once more. RBI single to tie it. Do you have it? Guts, RBI single. And like New Orleans with all that jazz flying around the bases, it's 6-5 Yanks. Leave us alone, KC. Cole to Hill to Holmes to Canely to Cool Hand Luke. Yanks take game 1, 6-5 final.
Nice job. Olivia was just telling me we need to watch this, the Mendez brothers. I'm like, I'm not watching that. What? She's like, no, it's a crazy story. And I'm like, I don't want to hear any of that story. I don't like scary stuff.
Bro, I'm kind of with you. Like, it blew my mind that they're coming out with an Aaron Hernandez doc. Like, the Aaron Hernandez stuff to me is like,
what are we doing?
Horribly sad and bad. And it's like, now it's a show. And I don't know. He's a Connecticut guy. I'm a Connecticut guy. But yeah, everyone's watching that show right now. And I don't know. Maybe we'll get there after baseball season, bro.
I saw Kim K. She's trying to get them out of prison. I saw her last night.
Oops.
Olivia's hotter. I'm just saying.
Trev, we did a 3.5-hour live stream watching this game. We recorded a 40-minute Talkin' Yanks after. We did a 40-minute.
What, are you sick of talking about ball or something, bro?
Pregame show. No, I'm just telling the people if they want a lot more of content from this game, they can go find it at the Talkin' Yanks channel. But I'll let you kick off. What did you see, or what do you want to talk about?
Aaron Judge.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Okay,
I'm just kidding.
Click.
Look, I didn't know his postseason numbers.
Click.
They were brought like they were loving those postseason numbers. I think Judge, Yankee fans. I think Judge is awesome.
Yeah,
that's a song I made up right there.
That's good.
I mean, I think it starts for me in the top of the second. You have a chance to have bases loaded, nobody out. Tommy Pham up, who has good numbers against Garrett Cole. Get him on the ropes, all these things. And then all of a sudden you decide to send Sal Perez. I know it's Juan Soto and he doesn't have the greatest arm, but Sal Perez also doesn't have the greatest wheels. Beavers, pull up his baseball savant. I'm almost guaranteeing it's going to be in a 1 or 2 percentile for sprint speed.
I could lock in 5 or under. And 5
or under, you
for
can
Juan Soto's defensive.
It's a great throw.
Things like throwing is his strength. Like that's kind of what he does have.
So
it's 3.
It's 3.
It's a great.
That
point,
was
Trev.
tough to watch for me.
Point.
I'm like,
and Cole's on the hook. He's not looking crisp, and now you've given him a first out, and you leave a.
Not only do you give him the
there.
first out, but you give him energy and the stadium energy, dude. And I like I said, Tommy Pham has good numbers against him. I think he's pumped him twice. He ends up getting the sac fly, and now all of a sudden it's 1-0, 2 outs. Runners
first.
on what? It's like, that was not it for me. I know you want to be aggressive, and I know you, but it's the wrong guy to be aggressive with. Everybody else on your team is fast as shit. There's just one guy that you can't send there.
And I mean,
that was my first gripe with the game. But again, I guess you credit Soto with the throw. But I just thought that was a bad send there. Happy for Glaber. Beautiful homer. Melendez. I thought that was a decent pitch by Garrett Cole. He just kind of went out and got it.
How about the Yankee Stadium showing up with a lot of Yankee Stadium? 1 of 30 homers. Game 1 of the postseason. We're here, baby.
Yeah. And then the bottom of the 5th, that was the walk the walks inning. Zerpa comes in. He faces 3 batters, 1 hit, 2 walks. They end up getting 4 walks that inning and score 2 runs off of it. Again, Judge, I think we have to talk about Judge not really coming through. The Waka thing, I think, is fine because he just doesn't see him well.
Yeah,
that's just a messed up bat for him, dude. So I don't even fault him for that, but he wasn't pitching when the next time he struck out. Anyways, Yankees take the lead, and then the error by Volpe, that was a tough one. And I don't think it was a terrible, terrible throw. It was a terrible throw. What am I trying to say? Glaber set up on the back side of the base saying, hey, hit me here. I'll do my best to turn it.
Right.
And it was just completely into the runner, and Glaber wasn't really set up to anticipate a bad throw necessarily. So that kind of made it look even worse than it was. But that was tough. And then Hampson with the infield in. Yeah, here it is. He set up on the back side, throws it to the other side. And I always tell people, now you hold them. Jeez. I always tell people, you're taught, anticipate a bad throw no matter where you are. So Glaber was not anticipating a bad throw right there. And again, it wasn't a great throw by Volpe, but at the same time, I think maybe he could have stopped it at least. He wouldn't have got the out, but maybe he could have stopped if he was ready for a bad throw. I thought Tim Hill showed a lot of emotion in that inning, which he's got that type of face that shows a lot of emotion. Yeah. He obviously didn't get hit. That drawn in single by Hampson, I mean, that's brutal, bro. Great for Hampson. Love that for Royals fans. But if you're a pitcher, it's man, anywhere else, that's not it. And then I guess the next thing you talk about is the Jazz stolen base.
Yeah, I mean, hey, let's be real.
Well, Stanton not being able to run was a huge factor in this game also.
Yeah, it's
because Garcia makes that play against him diving to his left. Anybody else is safe.
Hey, BBD, let's get Stanton's sprint speed up here.
Sal Perez would have been safe on that.
Yes. It's
Stanton's hurting.
It's always a little shocking to people because Stanton's still so in shape, and I guess we forget being Yankee fans and seeing it. But yeah, I mean, Big G's other gear is gone.
It's not even that there's no other gear.
No
I mean, he is.
It's gearless. Also 3. Okay, let's set him up.
Is it hurt, or is it
I think
he's in permanent preservation mode.
I think it's
okay. That's what it looks like, preservation mode.
That's what everyone wonders. They're like, there's got to be one more. Game-winning run on the line. There's got to be more in there. And we've just
it looks like his legs.
Haven't seen it in years.
They need to just shoot some lube up into the joints of his legs.
Yeah.
The Tin Man. Anyways, Jazz singles, then he steals. Sal Perez has him dead to rights. He was out. He got a horrible jump. Who was pitching at that time?
Was that Lorenzen or Urseg?
No, I think it was Lorenzen then.
Lorenzen.
Whoever was pitching did such a good job of looking him and holding him and because I was there's no way he's gonna go right here with the lead that he has and this hold. Then he ends up going horrible jump.
He had his hands on his knees. I thought I didn't know if he was trying.
He was leaning back right there. Play that back again, Beavers. Watch this. He's leaning back towards the base before he breaks. It's just not. I mean, that's you don't want to do that. I'm not a stolen base guy either, but I'm not. Anyways, that was tough. What do you have on this? Because they end up reviewing it. It looks like he's out. Call stands on the field, which if you're a Royals fan, look, we got to talk about it from both sides. If you're a Royals fan, this has to absolutely just crush you.
Game-winning run.
So
I'll say of the 3 replay incidents we had today, Freddie comes off the base, Trey Turner on the pickoff play. I thought this one was the one you could be kind of it's not conclusive. If it was called out on the field, you'd say out. This one for me, Jazz somehow kind of gets there, and his heel of the cleat is there.
I feel like there was a little space. Ron Darling talked about it. A little space.
I think to the letter of the law, which I don't agree with the letter of the law. I think if any of them today had an argument, I think this one did. None of them getting overturned is bizarre.
Is bizarre.
And probably like you know Jimmy. Jimmy's freaking out. A guy that loves a good camera, loves a good replay. He's like devastated that we went 0 for today. And maybe there's a day where he revolutionizes things. But man, I guess we've already seen that day. But on Yankee side, they kind of got away with one today, man, because the infield defense, Jazz is playing his third position. Anthony Volpe, normally good. The kid has had a couple big moments where it's felt like a big moment. Glaber, an offensive player. Oswaldo Cabrera at first, playing his fifth position or so.
Yeah.
He looked the best of all those guys because he's, Boone said it best, he looks best with a glove on his hand. No offense to his hitting, but anyways, that the Yankees, they have a lot of sinker ball relievers. Hello, Clay Holmes. That Tim Hill, that they find themselves, when the Yankees lose, they have these weird, ugly innings where it's a ball in the hole or it's a chopper in the infield, and then there's speed on the bases, and then something happens and 3 runs score. That it comes up as luck. Like the analytics department and how it feels comes off as luck. But this is what gets the Yankees in trouble regularly, that at a certain point it's not luck. So the Yankees fans obviously are feeling fantastic. We won a playoff game, but it feels like we survived our bugaboos. Like we survived Cole after his long layoff. Yeah. We survived infield defense being bad. Glaber getting thrown at home in the first inning. Like it felt like the Yankees kind of got away with one today, and that feels really good for Yankees. I mean, the Jazz Chisholm run, like we just talked about. Like, there's a lot of things. Yeah. And I guess this is being honest, Yankee fan. Like, Yankees got away with one today. And for Royals fans, that's got to feel really brutal. Because if they stole game 1 at the stadium, my goodness.
Yeah, I'm wondering, I'm trying to put myself in a Royals fan's shoes. I think you're right. They feel like they had a chance tonight. But I also think that's a good feeling.
Right.
I said you have to score runs. Someone's got to hit homers. You get Melendez hitting the homer. Bobby Witt and Vinny going 0 for 10 combined.
Yeah.
It stings. And I think you either say, hey, they're not going to do that all series, so let's bank on, if the other guys around them can duplicate what happened tonight, we're in a good spot here. Bobby Witt, look, after that first one, a great swing against Cole. Judge runs it down. The rest of the bats, it looked like he was trying to do a little too much. I think, he can put sometimes guys that can just put the barrel on any pitch, they start swinging at pitches they shouldn't be swinging at. I think he wasn't way out of the strike zone, but he wasn't waiting for his pitch to absolutely drive. At least that's what I saw from him. So yeah, look, tough one. Tough one for the Royals, good one for the Yankees. I think this one is going to be a little bit closer than a lot of people give it credit for. And I think with the short porch especially, I almost feel like the Royals have a better chance in Yankee Stadium than they do playing at home, because they do need to hit those home runs that I'm talking about, and they're able to do it probably a little bit easier at Yankee Stadium than they will be at Kauffman. How about that?
Melendez homer, Massey gives the first ball of the game to the wall. Vinny P, yes, I think I agree with you. Dude, part of the reason I love this show, and if you listen regularly, make sure you're subscribed and all the good stuff. Yuli Gurriel just giving nails at bats against Garrett Cole. What? I'm mad
that honestly makes a lot of sense.
I'm mad at the whole league for making him be in Gwinnett for 4 months or whatever. That's insane. Juan Soto, outfield assist, 3 hits, casual Juan Soto. Austin Wells had some really good at-bats. Stanton kind of did not. Something to watch. And, dude, Alex Verdugo, a couple great defensive plays and a couple nice at-bats, and that was one of the Yankees' most controversial decisions. Both bullpens, in every game today, got seen. Luke Weaver is a stud, and I hope he gets a lot of exposure on the national stage because he's been incredible. Clay Holmes, 1.2, a huge connector. in this game during some of the scary moments. And yeah, like you said, Kansas City almost had a game today without Bobby Witt and Pasquantino, which I think people didn't assume. And I think the other thing that comes in here, Monday's game, because the AL gets the off day. Reagan's versus Rodon. If you like some power lefty pitching, yum. The Yankees, for most of this season, really struggled with lefty starting pitchers, including Kyle Ragans. The Royals are still, Urseg came out in this game. He looks strong. That Ragans and their bullpen options, they're set up good for game 2. They'll be there, and on the Yankees side, it's kind of like, hey, you guys had your long layoff. Cole wasn't as sharp. A couple guys, you're getting first live at bats. We get it in a playoff atmosphere. They still have to hold serve because, dude, in these 5-game sets, you let a team go home and they split. They're saying, let's win it at home. Let's not go back for a game. Absolutely. 5. Michael Massey, that
stud.
That boy, I think if we get 162 out of him next year, I think you might see a big boy second baseman season. Anything else?
Let's do it.
Gotta tell the people about Mountain Dew when you say do it.
Oh.
Mountain Dew, we all need to get off our ass just a little bit more.
Okay.
Stretch it out, Trev. Fire up those hammies and grab a refreshing citrus kick Mountain Dew. The bold flavors to get you on your bum and make you feel like you're on an actual mountain. Maybe if you live near a mountain, grab a Dew, go for a hike. Used to do that in Denver a lot. You got that out there.
I do, yeah.
If we're playing blitzball, it surrounds our warehouse and our office now. I have it when I'm fishing. The mountain is calling. You should answer. Grab your friends, grab an ice cold Mountain Dew wherever refreshing beverages are sold, and do the Dew. There is a link in the description. The hunt for Red October begins in Philly while Zach Wheeler would try to submarine the Mets' miracle run with Kodai Senga looking to leave Phil's fans like they've seen a ghost. Call Kyle Schwarber the ghost hunter. 700-foot home run to get it started. It's 1-0 early, and it's 1-0 late. Zach Wheeler, 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, 0 runs, 9 Ks. Peterson and Garrett combined for 5 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. In the top of the 8th, hope is a dangerous thing. 5 Mets reach base with 2 strikes, and the first 2 Mets outs in the innings were sac flies. 5 runs in the 8th, and they hawk 201 in the 9th. Senga to Peterson to Garrett to Maton to Stanek. Mets win Game 1 in Philly, 6-2 final. Who are these guys, and what have they done with the Mets?
I'm just getting some notes finished.
You're a notes man, Trev. It's insane, dude. It's insane.
They are the comeback kids. That's who they are. I have I was reading as I was prepping here. I was reading one of the MLB articles, and I don't know who wrote it. I'm sorry. Should I go look it up? It's just stats.
We'll get there, yeah.
We'll get there. It's talking about what the Mets have done within the span of a week. Game 1 of the doubleheader against Atlanta, they were 3 for 24 before erupting for 8 runs on 8 hits in the 8th and 9th. 3 days later, in the wild card series, Game 3 in Milwaukee, the Mets were 2 for 26 over the first 8 innings before Pete Alonso launched a 3-run home run. And then today, they were 1 for 21 in 7 innings off Wheeler before going 7 for 11 with 6 runs the rest of the way. That doesn't make any sense, dude.
Trev, it's
you are just getting crushed. And I get today was different because you get Wheeler out, and then all of a sudden it just feels like, Wainwright was talking about that. Doesn't matter who's coming in after him, get that guy out of there, and you just feel like, okay, it's someone different. It's going to help me. The rest of the games weren't like that. The other 2 games weren't like that. So One of the games they're facing Devin freaking Williams. The other one was Raisel Iglesias. It's crazy.
Raisel, Devin, Jeff Hoffman was an all-star. I know he doesn't maybe have the sex appeal of those other two.
And so was Matt Strom.
Like, Jeff Hoffman in 66.1 innings had 89 strikeouts this year. Like, and the bigger thing, it's what you just mentioned. When someone like Zach Wheeler's being Zach Wheeler, it's where taking pitches and battling matters. Because if Zach Wheeler gets an 8th inning in this game, the Mets might lose this game. And we might be talking about how good he is. And Philly wins 1-0 or 2-0 or whatever it is. And instead, we're not telling that story. We're telling the story of this Mets team that has no fear in the 8th or 9th inning. Like, nothing is daunting to them. And they are, if you did scariest teams to play in the playoffs right now, like, the Mets are oddly high on that list because they're just never out.
Agreed. I also think Cleveland is like the scariest psycho team. Like,
Cleveland has something.
Like, it's the neighbor next door that you don't know is weird. And then after the fact, you find out, wow, that guy is very weird. But we're not there yet.
We have a guy, Tech Mike, who works at our office. He's awesome. He's an electric human being. He's electric at his job. He's just electric. Kind of new to baseball, but he dove full in this year, and it's been incredible to just see how he processes the game. And he kind of said exactly what he's just like, why aren't people talking more about Cleveland? We'll get there in a little bit.
We'll get there. From here, I want to start with crazy that we got the Kodai Senga news that he was just going to start all of a sudden.
What?
That was awesome. They obviously wasn't going to go long, so it was kind of like a piggyback thing with Peterson, which was great. Worked out for them. He looked good. One bad pitch to Schwarber. I mean, it was 96, top of the zone. Schwarber doesn't care. And that was so fun. I mean, I know they lost, but Philly fans, that was pretty cool. So he comes in, he looks good. And then you have to give credit to Wheeler, obviously. 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, 9 Ks, 4 walks. I think you have to mention the shadows because everybody was mentioning the shadows. I got a quote here from JD Martinez. And I thought this is pretty cool. We were talking about Wheeler. He said, you could see it, especially with the shadows early on. It's just like, dude, this guy's throwing airplanes up there. I never heard that expression before.
He's
the balls
had a
were
quotes.
taking off every which way. I was like, I love that.
Did you
airplanes just taking off?
Did you see his suck quote the other day?
Yeah.
It was a little intense. It was a little talking baseball, if we're being honest.
He goes, he says, it's like, good luck. We just got him out of the game. We got to find a way to get him out because the way he was throwing the ball, he was just unhittable. And it really did seem that way. There's some stats out there. Go check them out. Wheeler's 2 point whatever ERA is the 3rd lowest minimum 10 starts in postseason history. Like, this guy is as real of deal as there is. And he might finish 2nd in the Cy Young this year only because Chris Sale won the Triple Crown. The Mets had him.
Sure did.
Let him go. People thought the Phillies were crazy to sign him to that first deal that he got. Mind you, he already got another deal. He is quietly top 3 dominant pitchers in the game.
Yeah, and the Mets get a lot of crap for that. We should give like every team more crap for that.
Every team.
He was a free agent. Like he's from Georgia. And Braves probably could have. Anyone could have and wanted to sign that guy. Dude, I was, again, it feels like these days are 3 days in one. Reliving that 8th inning, because Alvarez.
Yeah, that's the thing, Jake. We can skip innings 2 through 7 because nothing happened.
And hey, as much as Wheeler is getting snaps, David Peterson and Reed Garrett, they held up until that point.
I don't want to count David Peterson as a pen guy because he's not
right
necessarily. So
maybe he is.
Their bullpen ended up going 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, while the Phillies pen went 2 innings pitched, 7 hits, 6 runs.
Alvarez gets the single to start it off, and like we just talked about, like, okay, instant vibe change. The bad guy's out of the game. Here we go.
At this point, it's 1-0, people. So they pinch run.
Pinch run Bader.
For Alvarez, put Bader in, yeah.
Lindor, 0-2. Fouls off a pitch Way out of the zone. Draws the walk. Vientos, 0-2. Ball, singles on the slide.
Great at bat. Great at bat.
Strom comes in. 0-2. Singles on the next pitch. Alonso, 0-2. Sac fly. Iglesias, 0-2. Fouls off 7 balls. Gets a single on the cutter. Man, there's something in the water, dude. And like it's the sick thing with baseball that it can, at some point the hose can turn off, but that's insane what they did to the Philadelphia Phillies in the 8th inning of this baseball game. Slight torture for our guy Shelfie.
Question for Mets fans, like, what do you do with Jose Iglesias? It's like he has to come back, right? Like Jeff McNeil signed through 2027. They have a team option. He signed through 26 without that option. 4 years, 50. Good for you, Jeff. What do you do?
Good for you,
what
Jeff.
do you do?
Hey, I've seen Iglesias play every infield position.
You take them both, right?
We can figure it out. Alonso might be out of town. I've heard Vientos might play some first base.
But isn't there another guy, Beatty, that's supposed to be the guy? I'm just saying, if you had to pick between Jeff McNeil and Jose Iglesias, that's kind of my point here. It's insane to think that like it's almost like a no-brainer right now.
Baseball happens quick, man.
It does happen quick.
That you can figure that out next year, and there's just, I don't know. Juju is what it is. Jesse Winker's a dog. Their closing lineup has Ronald Acuna's little brother playing second base. It's just this hodgepodge. Dude, Senga started this game. What?
Yeah.
He played in one game this year, got hurt, and here he is. And he kind of was like talking about the Phillies. Like, Edwin Diaz doesn't pitch in this game.
What I don't like, Mets, great job. Continue your historic run. You don't need to hear any more from us. You guys continue to do your thing. For the Phillies, what I don't like to hear is after the game, Trey Turner went straight to the cage, which means like I like that. Like you're putting some work in, but at the same time,